Looking back on our preliminary task, I think we have improved quite dramatically actually. Although we had a problem with the group allocations, once that got all sorted, we were able to make progress. To start with, one of the biggest changes that I personally think we made was the editing software. For our preliminary, we used iMovie, which was good, but it was limited with the effects and sounds and transitions, etc. But for our main task, however, we used Final Cut. Final Cut is the software we use for our main task, and which was also another editing software used for the Mac other than iMovie, but it was much more advanced. It gave us a lot more options when choosing which effects and stuff to use, and also was a lot easier to use once you actually got used to it. We probably didn't even use half of the tools available to us on our main task, but in future projects we would get even more comfortable with the software and make our editing even better. We used different videos of YouTube, as mentioned in the another video, just to sort of get the basics of the editing, the transitions, sound, and stuff like that, just so we could get used to it, to make the whole process of the editing a lot quicker. When actually, like I said, we didn't really use sort of half the tools actually available to us on our main task, but we could in future projects. But we realised in our preliminary that a lot of the light is very important. Our preliminary was very dark, and this meant that we had to change the brightness, which made the overall look of it not actually as good as we thought it could be. For example, it's difficult to explain, but because we wanted it to be dark, but it couldn't because of how we filmed it, we had to brighten it up on the screen, which made the whole in order to see it, it had to be bright. Like the brightness had to be quite full, so it made it sort of seem like in the day, which we didn't really want to create this effect in our actual main task. For our main task, we made sure that the darker areas of the film, whilst filming outside and also in the thing, we did it in slightly lighter conditions where we could, because obviously when we were filming the walking up the stairs and stuff, that's as light as we could actually get it. But because of the camera, when you actually watched it back, it came out darker anyway, so you had to make sure that the actual shot was filmed in the light. But yeah, for example, like outside, we made sure we filmed sort of when it was getting dark, not when it was dark, just to make sure it would be fun. Another area where I feel we progressed from our preliminary was the amount of shots that we took. As mentioned also in another sort of question, for our preliminary we had sort of a limited amount of shots to choose from because that's all we had filmed, whereas for our main task we made sure, specifically made sure that we took a lot more shots, a lot more angles, a lot more pans, tracks, whatever you want, and yeah, we made sure we took more than we actually needed, which meant we had lots to choose from when it came to the editing suite, which was a lot more helpful because it just meant you had the freedom to choose. If one shot wasn't quite right, you could choose another, and yeah, I think that helped with the overall outcome of the video. Pairing shots from our preliminary task and the main task, it is clear to see what worked well and what we wanted to try and recreate in our main task. The shot on the left is from our preliminary task, and the one on the right is from our main task. We wanted to include a close-up shot of the feet in our main task because we felt that in our preliminary task it created a very good effect and was a good way of creating tension of the sort of tension and build tension within the audience, like just seeing the feet and not revealing who it is. We changed the angle of the shot though because we felt that this particular scene, having the camera tilted up, created much more sort of better atmosphere and nervousness and sort of almost some sort of looking up at her. To be perfectly honest, there weren't many more brilliant shots from our actual preliminary that we really wanted to include in our main task, mainly because there weren't actually many shots in our preliminary. It was only sort of a minute long or so, so yeah, we didn't have many to choose from. But looking back, I feel our progression with different shot types and angles improved a vast amount and really made the audience be on edge and make them really think about what's going to happen because of the different sort of, like the different views. You have some views from, say, we had one from behind a gravestone, which sort of voyeurism, like you're watching them, which also links to Psycho, where Norman Bates is looking through the hole in the wall at Marion getting undressed. A little bit more about the shot types. I just think that in our preliminary it was very basic. We just had the a little track, and then sort of over the shoulder shot, reverse shot. But in this one we made sure that we had tracking, panning, low angle, high angle, mid shots, close ups. We just had it all. We tried to include it all, which sort of made the overall effect of the thing really good, I felt personally.